Stand by. The program will begin soon.
When I see an American flag, I immediately look at that I'm like, that person's probably a bigot. That person's probably a homophobe. That person's probably a racist if they're just flying American flags out everywhere.
Hold up.
Hey, this sounds more like a you problem. You should probably go see somebody about that.
We got over $5 million per year from the American taxpayers, being given no-bid contracts from Maine Governor Janet Mills, and is building a military in Somalia. He has been funneling money back to Somalia to build a military in Somalia. The guy is running a migrant services agency that builds main care, which is what we call Medicaid, about $5 million a year. Oh no, those illegal immigrants are getting any Medicare. And then he said he raised money in the U.S. to buy weapons, munitions, and supplies for a paramilitary force he had hoped to lead as the president of Jubaland. Yes, that's a real state in Somalia. And to be clear, in Somalia, he's running to be the warlord of Jubaland. Elections in Jubaland aren't exactly like elections in America. It's whoever has the most guns is able to certify the election. So he needed to buy a paramilitary organization and paramilitary support in order to win the election. Avocados Diablos asked if you could bring any one comic strip character to life and train them to be a hitman, who would you choose? Oh, that's the easiest question ever. Calvin. Calvin. Oh, look, Somnambule Nation, you and I are on the same page. Calvin. From Calvin and Hobbes. Yes. And by God, Calvin would be the greatest hitman to ever live. Better than John Wick. I guarantee it. I didn't have to think of it. Stand by. The program will begin soon.
Yes, it's true. The Obama administration deported over 3 million people, and the Biden administration, over 4 million people. But they didn't need troops. They didn't need military in the streets to do it. Tell me why. Put it in the chat. Tell me why you think that's that.
Because when Obama and Biden were in office, there were no riots in the streets of Los Angeles, even though 80% of the deportations were also expedited with no hearing. But you didn't give a shit then. Now that Trump's in office, you suddenly give a shit. Hope that helps.
That turkey was amazing. Mostly because I cooked it, because I'm really good at cooking turkey. So one of my tricks new tricks that I do, you know how when you cook a turkey in a pan, even if you got one of those raised pans, it always happens. You cook this turkey and the breast of the turkey get all nice, the top gets all nice and brown, and then you go to cut the underside and the thighs and legs are like all white underneath and not even done. Well, there's a trick you can do to avoid that. What you do is you cook the bird upside down for at least 1/3 of the cooking time. So you end up browning the bottom and sealing that first, even more so. And the other thing I do is I start my oven at 500 degrees. The first 45 minutes to an hour, you put it at 500 degrees, and then you turn it down to 325 and do the rest of the cooking. But anyway, do it upside down, and 1/3 of the way through, then you flip the bird back over in the pan, and the entire bird gets finished at the same time. So apparently, in the Europe, you can refer to Americans as pigs. but not convicted rapists. The German court gives a woman harsher punishment than convicted. I hate it when people say rapist. I'll just say unwanted sexual activity peoples for calling him a disgraceful pig. She called someone convicted of that crime a disgraceful pig and got a harsher punishment than the person who actually committed unwanted sexual activity. And so that's why people were posting that story about the German court gives women harsher punishment than convicted unwanted sexual activity.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's a story about this man too. He led the attack on Pearl Harbor but died a Christian missionary on December 7, 1941. Captain Mitsuo Fuchida flew the lead plane against Pearl Harbor, shouting the famous code, Tora, Tora, Tora. He hated America. But after the war, he met a former American POW, Jacob DeSager, who had returned to Japan not to punish him, but to preach the gospel. Shocked by this forgiveness, Fuchida bought a Bible and converted to Christianity in 1950. The man who started the Pacific War spent the rest of his life touring the U.S. and Japan preaching. Quote, I was a follower of the sword. Now I'm a follower of the cross. Amazing. Nearly 5 years after pipe bombs were discovered outside the headquarters of the Democratic National Committee and the Republican National Committee in Washington, D.C., a suspect has been arrested in the case. On Thursday, federal agents arrested Brian Cole Jr., 30 of Woodbridge, Virginia, and he was charged with transportation of explosive devices, blah, 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 blah. But on Friday, legacy media outlets began reporting that Cole, this young black man right here, was a Trump supporter. And I'm not saying he's not because he's black. I'm just saying there's other evidence that might support the fact that he's not a Trump supporter. But we'll get to that. Quote, Brian Cole works for a bail bonds company run by his father that worked to free illegal immigrants from ICE facilities and sued the Trump administration's Department of Homeland Security. He worked for his dad. They tried to free illegal immigrants. Interesting. Yes, I know every Trump supporter, every black supporter, Trump supporter, would be quick to hire Benjamin Crump, who represented the family of Trayvon Martin, attempting to sic the Biden administration Department of Justice on a local Tennessee prosecutor who had raised concerns about the bail bond companies. We'll find out eventually that this guy had wanted nothing to do.
Additionally, if you open this up to ice fishing, while on the surface it sounds good, then what happens next year? Does someone come back and say, I want an ice shanty on Hudson Springs Park for X amount of time? And if you then allow ice fishing with shanties, then that leads to another problem. Prostitution. And now you've got the police chief and the police department involved. Just data points to consider.
It is Happy Bill of Rights Day on December 15, 1791. The Commonwealth of Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. George Mason and James Madison were the driving forces behind these guarantees of individual rights. And note that all the individual rights that are in the Bill of Rights are not rights granted by the government. Those are the inalienable rights which the government shall not infringe. And if you notice, it's interesting because the Bill of Rights is all about what the government cannot do, not what the government can do. And I think the kind of got away from that a little bit, where some people seem to think that the government is going to grant you rights. No, these are rights you have, whether there's a government or not, and the rights that the government must protect for you. So it was a unique thing when it came about in 1791. that government is not there to grant you or give you privileges, but rather to protect the rights that you have. It's fine.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
Yay! Hooray! I'm here again on a Tuesday. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel on this Tuesday. What's the date? The 3rd of March, 2026. I said that right, didn't I? Because I think did I say 2023 yesterday or something like that? Maybe I don't know what made me think that. Anyway, coming up on the Ides of March, coming up on Pi Day, coming up on my granddaughter's 4th birthday. I can't believe it's been 4 years since my granddaughter was born. I had my grandpa cup yesterday, established 2022. I looked at it when I went upstairs after the show, and I'm like, man, that girl's about to be 4 years old, and boy, can she talk. She can read. She wrote her name on a card for us for our anniversary. I'm like, wait a minute. She's already learning how to write? My daughter is doing a great job with that girl. Anyway, hope y'all are having a wonderful morning. I got a bunch of stuff open. I do want to, there's some highlights from this Bill Clinton deposition that are interesting. And, probably shouldn't care about it with war and everything else going on. But it's like, it's the entertainment of it. I did not have sex with any of those women. I can't name them all, but there was a bunch of them. But it was touching me in all kinds of ways that I wasn't used to. Well, I was used to it because, I'm a little freaky deaky like that. But, I don't know what else to say. Anyway, let's just get this show on the road because I'm just babbling now. First in the chat today, who was it? Oh! Wait, what happened there? What the hell happened? Okay, it's Avocados Diablo. Everything's good in the world. You get the bell. Gotta ring the bell so you can hear it. There you go. Also, good morning. Oops. Broke my microphone. Hello, Kara Soldier. What's up? Mike Savage. Blarg. The Pope. Tyrannus III. The Blessed Lich. I don't see a message of hope, but I see the blessings of the Holy Ghost. So you're still gonna get that thing, right? So, whoa, wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute. Tyre's 40 years old today. Yeah, happy birthday, my friend. It is epic. So I'll play the epic music for you. You have eventually become an old fuck. See, but you're just old. I'm ancient. So, but still, I appreciate your candor and willingness to tell people that you're 40 today. Yay! Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Tyre. The Pope, the Lich, and all of the above. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Also, good morning, Unholy Blue. That's Midnight's boyfriend. And Attack Alpaca is in the house. Somnambule Nation, what's up? Ms. Wild Wolf is here. Good morning. And Aaron Meredith, good morning. And there she is. Midnight's here. The unholy queen herself. Lord Stanhope, good morning. And that's about everybody so far. 15 and 9. Or is it, 15 and what? Hold up. 14 and 6. That's not good. You know what I'm saying? 15 and 6 should be 15 and 14 because only Avocados Diablo gets to wait till the end of the show to do it. You just do it. Just tap it. Just tap. Just tap the button. Tap your mouse. Tap your phone. Tap it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway. All right. let's see. No message hope. We're celebrating Tyre's birthday today. Happy birthday, my friend. All right, let's what else is there? Oh, people who share the stream, which there's a few of those. Oh, there we go. I clicked that wrong. Thank you too. I'm gonna scroll a little bit. Apparently a lot of people, I replied to Cenk Uygur on something because he had a poll up and he was complaining because, oh, well, it was all great the way that I wanted it to go. And then all of a sudden, all the bots started coming. I'm like, hey, moron, when you put up a poll and you have 800,000 followers who mostly agree with you on most shit, that they're probably going to agree with you on a poll until more people see the poll. And the poll went to hell. In fact, let me see where that poll, let me check in this poll real quick. I want to see how bad it is now. Oh, did he take it now? Oh, it completely reversed. So he put up this poll on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, that says, who has done more damage to the world, Ali Khamenei or Benjamin Netanyahu? And when I saw it earlier, it was like 80-20 Netanyahu, because he just put up the poll. He, like 50,000 of his followers all jumped in and answered the poll the way he wanted him to. But then what is it? There used to be a name for used to go in and take a poll and you'd turn it over by just telling everybody you'd on it. And I can't remember what it was called. There was a name for it. It was after a blog. I can't remember what you call it, though. There's a specific name. You probably don't even remember because this is back in the blogging days when people just had blogs. They weren't all on live streams and shit. But anyway, they got to the poll, and now it's 70% Khamenei and 28% Netanyahu. Trippy Liberty, what's up, my brother? Welcome to the show. Also, Select a Boy. Yeah, and JB's in the house. Nice to have you here. So, God, what was that called? There was a name for it. I'll have to remember. It's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway. I was going to say thanks to people who share the show, though. That's what I wanted to do. Let's get back to here. And Lewis is in the house. What up, Louie? All right, so thank you, Sound Humble Nation, of course, always quick on the draw to share the stream. And we got a little Garfield action, little Garfield breakdancing on the reply to the show. So I'm going to pop that up there. And what is this? Let's see. This is from Sound Humble Nation.
0-2. Swinging a foul right back into the screen to stay alive.
Got his beer got taken out.
That is our first our first beer victim or beverage victim. That foul ball took off a drink.
Got him. Oh, that's a perfect timing to pause that too, isn't it? Thank you, Soundable Nation. Oh, I had a little like there, and we'll repost that. Also, Mike Savage with our daily Let Us Go. Let my people go, go, go. Tyre Alexander with the daily Ric Flair. Woo! And Ms. Wild Wolf, and I think that's Tyre. That's Somnable Nation. That's Resolute Germ. Thank you. And Ms. Wild Wolf with the cute little kid in the kitty car doing some power sliding or drifting or whatever you call that. Actually, that kid's going to hit a curb and probably break their crown. But anyway, and there you go. So anyway, thanks everyone who shared the stream. Greatly appreciate it. Why is my phone buzzing like it's like there's people freaking driving me crazy? Stop buzzing! God damn it. Hello, Monkey. What? Monkey's in the house. What up, Monk?
Your life makes me sad.
I've saved that soundbite for so long, but your life doesn't make me sad. I miss you though, brother. Did you stream this morning? I haven't seen you for a while. I've been I pay attention. I worry about you sometime, brother. You know, you and me, kindred spirits and all that shit. All right, let's get into some stuff. Okay, can we get into some stuff? Let's see. What do I got first? Oh, little just. Oh, I didn't do. Oh, damn it! See, I forgot something else. Dang, damn it! Hang on a second. All right. Well, that's not it. What the hell? There we go. All right, I fixed it. I gotta get this up. I'm not gonna move this over. I don't even know how far to move this. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? All right. Lots of things significant today, not just holidays, but just things happening. So I instead of, I'm doing the holiday thing, but I also want to talk about things that are happening. I'm forgetting a lot lately, PDawgKnight. I know. It's like, my hip hurts like a MFer. I got to get the other one replaced, and it's been bugging the hell out of me, but I don't want to take time off to work to do it. But I got to do it sometime this year, because it's like, just when the other one started hurting like this, I was like, oh, it's time. And so I'm this time on this one. But, and it sucks, because I do a lot of standing and walking at work. And so, I got to figure that out. I got to figure out when I'm going to do this. Anyway, the big thing last night or this morning, we had a blood moon, aka a lunar eclipse, and so and I missed it, so which is a bummer, because we were saying the best time to see it was about when I got off work this morning, but I got off work an hour later than normal, and so that's why and I barely even started the show. But anyway, yeah, some people got some good pictures of the old blood moon, or as the Earth began blocking the sun from the moon. Now, in a lunar eclipse, it doesn't go completely dark, but yeah, pretty cool stuff. And so that's trending, and lunar eclipse is trending. There's a beautiful picture. Look at that. That is a beautiful shot. You have to have the camera settings right to get a good picture of the moon, but that is a beautiful one. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Also, today's election day in many states doing their primaries, and especially a lot of people talking about election day in Texas for the primaries, where Jasmine Crockett and what's that dude's name? Whatever the fucker's name is. What the hell is his name? I'm gonna see if I can scroll and find it. It's also North Carolina, but what's the dude? What the hell's his name? I can't even think of it. It's also known as the Wolf Moon. Oh, I didn't know it was a wolf moon. But anyway, lots of people are in primaries in different states. If you care about who's running for your offices in your state that has election today, highly suggest that you go do it. Go do a vote. James Tallywacker? No, what the hell's his name? Anyway, here's today's election day. Turn Texas blue to save America. Blue Wave 2026 is apparently a new. Either they changed their name or they just decided to do this. But today's election day, to turn Texas blue, make sure you tweet this with Turn Texas Blue hashtag and reply to this embedded tweet if you see this. But here we go. Sheriff Texas midterm primary ballots. This is CNN. Let's watch this.
No, mind blown, to quote the show Blossom Joey. Whoa! I mean, look at this. Okay, Sheriff Texas midterm primary ballots at this point in the cycle, cast in Democratic primaries or Republican primaries. In 2022, the last midterm, overwhelmingly, the votes were being cast in Republican primaries, 62%. But look at what's going on now in the 2026 cycle. More votes are being cast on the Democratic side. What a shift from where we were 4 years ago with this.
Now, that's fascinating. Yes, thank you, Tallarica. I couldn't think of his fucking name. Does this tell you anything, really? The sheriff primary ballots? Maybe there were, let's say in 2026, maybe there were like more contested elections in those in the GOP versus the Democrats. It doesn't mean anything. What? More enthusiasm from the minority party of the midterm? I'm shocked. Yeah, exactly. So I'm let's see where he goes with this.
More people in Texas picking up the Democratic ballot.
More Democrats are voting
in
Texas than Republicans.
In a primary.
I mean, how unusual is that?
Just how unusual? Well, you see the massive shift from 2022, but look at history. Go all the way back. When was the last time that more people actually picked up a Democratic ballot, cast a ballot in a Democratic primary in Texas in the midterm? You have to go all the way back to 2002.
Okay.
So this could break an over 20-year stretch, my goodness gracious, whereby more people are actually voting on the Democratic side. And I will note, it really hasn't even been close since
in the primary.
2002. Overwhelmingly more people have been voting on the Republican side in Texas, and this year so far, more people are voting on the Democratic
He's very
side.
excited about it.
Different, very different with a capital V in this case. So we
with a
still have
capital
few days
V,
to go
like
here.
vagina.
What are the chances? What are the prediction markets saying about the chances this will stick?
Okay, so we're only really been talking about the early vote, but if you look at the Cashapp prediction market, what you actually see is the chance to have higher Texas primary turnout. Right now, the people putting their money where their mouth is.
And again, he's talking about primary turnout. We'll see. Will the Texans finally vote for their elusive, beta? Not Beto, but, the Beto that they want, which is either Jasmine Crockett or James Tallarico over a Republican Senate candidate. Who knows? Now, look, it's possible. It's possible. They are enthused. They are like, oh, get out to vote and shit. And hopefully, you hope to see that everyone has their ground game going on both parties. You'd love to see it when a lot of people vote, but it still doesn't tell me anything.
Actually slightly predict that there'll be more votes cast on the Democratic side than on the Republican side.
Again, they're still
60%
talking
to 40%,
about the primary.
Still a close race, but given that Republicans have been so outvoting Democrats in Texas, the idea that more people could actually vote on the Democratic side in Texas, again, as I said at the top.
It keeps leaving out the word primary. Okay, so there's a lot of enthusiasm between Tallarico. Let's say it's all Tallarico and Jasmine Crockett. Let's say it's just that race, the Senate race. There's a lot of people like Jasmine Crockett, and who knows if they like James Tallarico. But this is wild. But please, Lord. Please, Lord. Please, Lord. Make Jasmine Crockett the Democratic nominee for the United States Senate from Texas. And I personally don't care if she wins or loses. Oh, does Texas have open primaries? I didn't know that either. Look, if she becomes a senator from Texas or she doesn't, this is going to be entertaining as hell. And we're going to see how much her code switching is effective for the rest of the entire state of Texas. I'm just curious. Anyway.
Whoa.
So, okay, the cynic might say,
I do like this guy. He's enthusiastic about polls. He loves himself. Well, he probably likes polls more than most men. But anyway, he's entertaining. I like watching him, and it's fun. But again, he's getting excited about the primary turnout, which is interesting.
Okay, Harry, but this is just a primary. When there's a Democratic candidate and a Republican candidate on these ballots in November, who's going to remember this? It won't matter at all.
No. Primary turnout matters. When we're talking nationally, primary turnout matters. Take a look here.
Does it?
Okay, national primary turnout. Edge. Which party voted more in primaries, Democrats or Republicans? And then went on to win the House. Look at this. The correlation equal. Look at this. In 2006, more people voted in Democratic
makes
primaries
it
than
interesting
Republicans.
then.
Democrats won the House. 2010, GOP won the House. Same in 2014. 2018, more people voted on the Democratic side. More people then voted for Democrats in the fall. They won the House. And in 2022, Republicans gained that back in the primaries and then went on to win the House. 5 for 5 times. The fact that more people are voting on the Democratic side
a correlation.
in Texas at this point, that translates nationally.
There's a correlation.
That would suggest well on their way to winning the House. And in a red state like Texas, as I said, mind blown.
History would tell us.
All right, so that's going to be interesting. That's going to be real interesting. All right, thank you, Harry. All right, anyway, so it's election day in your state. Go vote. If it is election day in your state, the primaries, go vote. Again, minority party wins midterms. That pretty much showed that other correlation too, right? All right, so go vote's also trending. Yippee-ki-yay. And then also Star Spangled Banner's trending. Why? I'm not even to the holidays yet. Today, 95 years ago today, the Star Spangled Banner became the U.S. national anthem. On March 3rd, 1931, the Star Spangled Banner officially became America's national anthem, but it took over 100 years to become official. The story begins on the night of September 13th or 14th of 1814, when Lawyer Francis Scott Key found himself detained aboard a British warship, watching helplessly as enemy forces unleashed a relentless overnight bombardment, roughly 1,800 bombs on Fort McHenry in Baltimore, Maryland. As dawn broke, the American flag was still flying over the fort, so moved by what he witnessed, Key penned the words that would become iconic. His poem circulated as a handbill before being published in a Baltimore newspaper on September 20th, 1814. It was then set to the tune of the Anacreon in Heaven, a popular English song of the era, and the rest they say is history. Yes, a drinking song. Our national anthem is an old drinking song. For much of the 19th century, the Star Spangled Banner was embraced by most branches of the U.S. Armed Forces and adopted as the unofficial anthem, but it still lacked official status. That began to change in 1916 when President Woodrow Wilson, who was kind of a shitbag, signed an executive order formally designating it as the national anthem. Still, it wasn't. It still wasn't. Just because he did the executive order doesn't mean it was. But March 1931, Congress passed a confirming act, and on March 3rd, 1931, President Herbert Hoover of Hooverville put pen to paper and signed it into law 117 years after Francis Scott Key first watched the flag wave through the smoke of Fort McHenry. From ramparts of the battered Baltimore fort to every stadium, school, and ceremony in America. And say, 'cause that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. There you go. Now you know the rest of the story. Hey, Liberty Vet, good morning. Renee Mayette is in the house. Nice to have you all here. So there you go. Star Spangled Banner. Other holidays. I want you to be Happy Day. Aw, that's so sweet. Here, can you see all that? World Wildlife Day, March Full Moon, which we just talked about. Peach Blossom Day. Oh, peach blossoms. Where? Oh. Cultural observance of March 3rd, celebrating peach blossoms as symbols of spring, femininity, longevity, and new beginnings rooted in East Asian traditions. So, it's Peach Blossom Day. Also, Lantern Festival somewhere, where the hell that is. Unique Names Day. If you only knew all my names, holy shit. What if cats and dogs had opposable thumbs day? Who comes up with this shit? 33 Flavors Day. Now, wait a minute. 33? I thought it was 31. 31, that's Baskin Robbins. I don't get it. Oh, you forgot the last part. Play ball. Oh, yeah, I did. You're right. Simplify Your Life Day. National Moscow Mule Day. Oh, I could do that one of those after work today. National Cold Cuts Day. Get some bologna. Get you a bologna sandwich. National Sportsmanship Day. Always, it should be every day. I'm a coach. Every day should be National Sportsmanship Day. Canadian Bacon Day. Oh, Lord. Hey, Canadians, do you call Canadian bacon, or do you just call it like ham or something? Where are my Canadians? There's some Canadians in here. What do you call Canadian bacon? And I don't know why we call it Canadian bacon. It's just lean cured pork loin. But used in eggs Benedict and sandwiches. Canadians, what do you call Canadian bacon? Because it's not bacon. Bacon is pork belly sliced into slices. In Iraq, we only had 30 flavors of ice cream. What up, John Arnott? It's been a while, brother. What up, Midnight? Okay, anyway, I'm serious. I want to know what the hell you call it. We call it American bacon. Okay. That's okay. Really? And what do you make eggs Benedict with? I'm asking. I'm serious. Okay, Caregiver Appreciation Day, Holly in Guyana, whatever that is. Oh, that's that when they start throwing all the dye dust and stuff. Festival of Colors. International Irish Whiskey Day. Oh. It's a bottle of Jameson's Black Label. National Jackson Day, if your name is Jackson. Or even if it's Miss Jackson. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh. Talking Third Person Day, hell no. I hate other than Jesse Ventura. I don't want to hear anyone speaking in the third person. World Hearing Day. God, I told you, February, every day has like 70 holidays. National Rita Day. Hello, Rita. National Robin Day. And that's the name Robin, not the bird. Daliatra. That's also I think that's another color festival. National Soup at Fort. What the fuck does that mean? Holy shit. Look at how many holidays there are on March 3rd. It's March, isn't it? It's not February. Just this time of year, every day has like 600 holidays. All right, I'm done with the holidays. You can look it'll be in the links. You can find that shit yourself. All right, things that are happening in the world. I say, okay, so, when I go into the tab and I go, there's usually a few featured stories on X, right? And they're not necessarily the biggest stories, but they are the featured stories. And today I learned that ICE agents are now disguising themselves as lesbians to catch illegal aliens. What do I mean by that? Like, why would you be able to disguise yourself as a lesbian to catch illegal aliens, right? So here's and tell me I'm wrong when I click this link or when I click this thing. ICE agents are using unmarked Subaru Outbacks for Denver arrest. They're disguising themselves as lesbians. A video from local account Denver Today captured U.S. immigration Customs and Enforcement agents, also known as ICE. Why didn't they just say ICE agents? Because it's X. It's all these summarized things are done by Grok, so they always spell it out. I'm like, just say ICE agents. Anyway, stepping out of unmarked Subaru Outbacks during an operation in Denver, residential lot. Conservatives online praised the choice, joking the rugged wagons match Colorado's snowy roads and local stereotypes perfectly, catching targets off guard. The tactic fits ICE's standard use of civilian vehicles in sanctuary cities like Denver, where leaders have passed rules limiting federal agents, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, they disguise themselves as lesbians. Y'all know the Subaru lesbian connection, right? I actually asked a friend of mine who just happens to be a lesbian that asked her about the Subaru thing. Because she actually drives a Subaru. And I'm like, what's with lesbians and Subarus? She's like, I don't know. We just all want one. So anyway, yeah. Operation Lumberjill. That's hilarious. Operation Carpet. Okay, everyone come up with a name for the operation. Selected by Operation Carpet Shark. Tyre says Operation Carpet Clippings. Darren Root, Operation Lumberjill. Operation Rug Muncher. Okay, we're getting a bunch of them. Thank you for coming up with the operation. Okay, next featured article on X is this one. Supreme Court lifts stay on California school gender policy injunction for parents. Didn't we talk about this yesterday? If we didn't, maybe I was just reading about it yesterday. On March 2nd, the U.S. Supreme Court issued an emergency order reinstating district court injunction for California parents objecting to schools hiding children's gender identity changes without notice. The unsigned opinion found parents likely to succeed on free exercise and due process claims, citing their rights to direct upbringing and education of their children. Operation Fingered. Oh, Operation Litlink. Okay, you guys are coming up with some funny ones. Anyway, the ruling applies statewide to parents, but not teachers. Stemming from a 2023 lawsuit by teachers Elizabeth Mirabelli and Lori Ann West against Escondido Union School District policies. So here's what it was. California as a state was going to, in their schools, were saying that parents, they would hide gender identity issues from parents. And so some teachers and parents sued. The original judge ruled that they had no basis. The Ninth Circus, aka the Ninth Circuit, the first decision was the judge said, you're right, that they can't do this. They can't do this for hiding, kids think about their children to parents. The Ninth Circus said, no, we're gonna stay that because we think you'll lose the people who brought the case would lose it, and now the Supreme Court said we're not going by the Ninth Circus decision. So here it is. What is this? Breaking. The U.S. Supreme Court just ruled 6-3 decision that California's school policy keeping secrets from parents about their children's gender transition is unconstitutional. This looks like the summary. Gender dysphoria is a condition. What the hell happened there? Here we go. Is a condition that has important bearing on a child's mental health. But when a child exhibits symptoms of gender dysphoria at school, California's policies conceal that information from parents and facilitate a degree of gender transitioning during school hours. These policies likely violate parents' rights to direct the upbringing and education of their children. Yeah, you think? Let's see. Does this continue here? Oh, okay. Supreme Court rules against keeping secrets from parents. All right, we got that. Anyway. So yeah, a good ruling. And I'm curious. I'm really curious. Is it just the three? Is it just the three judges, or is there a mixed opinion on this? Why would your schools be able to keep information about children from their parents? That's just fucked up. I'm sorry. Newsom is big. Court blocks California law that tried to ban schools from informing parents if their child was transgender. And a bunch of people celebrating that. So let me see. Here's a longer version of this. I'll put this one in the links today if you want to read the summary of the decision. It'll be in a separate link today. So there you go. Clip, open, and boom. There it is. All right. Then the other one that they were featuring today, Iran's women's, now they say football team for us Americans at soccer. I don't know if Canadians call it football or soccer because you have Canadian football and you have soccer too. Let's just say the western, northern part of North America, the two out of whatever, call it soccer. Anyway, the Iranian women refused to sing their national anthem. Now, I don't know if they generally sing their national anthem anyway, but in their Group A opener at the AFC Women's Asian Cup in 2026 in Australia, Iran lost 3-0 to South Korea on Monday with anyway, blah, 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 scoring at halftime. Video showed the team not singing the anthem. Captain Zari Ganbari offered brief smiles to supporters while now they might have just been not singing because they were poor losers, but I don't know why they would be playing it. Anyway, the moment drew online attention against Iran's recent turmoil, including U.S. and Israel strikes killing Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Though the team focused on football and faces Australia next Thursday. So anyway, the Iranian national football team refused to sing the national anthem of the Islamic regime. Now, here's the interesting thing too. If you don't remember any of this because you're too young, or you're just born like Tyre. Wait, no, that's 40. You were born in, oh my God, you were born in the friggin' 80s. Oh my God. Oh shit. Anyway, so when all that shit went down in 1979, when the Ayatollah Khamenei, the original Ayatollah Khamenei, they took over Iran, and they changed the Iranian flag. They took the lion crest off, and they put some Arabic shit in there. And look, we got to remember, Iran is not Arabic. Iran is Persian, but they changed the flag, put some Arabic writing on their flag. They changed their national anthem to have everything to do with Islam rather than the original, the original Iranian national anthem. So a lot of people in Iran hate that shit, even though they're stuck with it because they're under this thumb of the Islamic regime, right? So, but them not singing national anthem before this week could have got them into trouble, I think. But apparently, they chose not to sing it this time. Now, I don't know if that's a big deal or if they normally sing along, but everyone seems to be talking about it. So there you go. That's that. Now, I want to get to the main topic. I'm just going to skip a couple things here that I had open. Or no, we'll just do it real quick. Armageddon's trending. Apparently, here's the thing. I'm taking every report about this Iran shit with a grain of salt. And I really, look, I'm pretty anti-war. But I'm listening to the responses of the actual Iranian people who are just thrilled about this, and I'm torn. I'm not gonna, I'm not. I think it's dumb, but there's a whole lot of other stuff going on, and I don't even know what to think of this shit. I hope it turns out for the best. That's all I can say. But there's this whole thing that all the people on the left are now talking about. That's saying that the U.S. troops are told that this Iran war is for Armageddon and the return of Jesus. And whenever I see a bunch of people on the payroll, so to speak, put this out there, I think that there's probably maybe about 199% of truth to it, meaning that they've done the telephone tag game and everyone's just kind of embellished what really this was said. So someone here says, this is absolutely fucking nuts. U.S. military commander addressing his troops. President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal of fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. I've been around enough military people to maybe call bullshit on this. And the source of this, I don't know what this source of this is. And this is apparently Mikey, militaryreligiousfreedom.org. Mr. Weinstein, thank you for taking my calls and the calls of some of my colleagues to what happened earlier this morning with our combat unit. To please protect my identity and identities of those I'm speaking for, as we discussed. Our unit is not currently in the combat zone AOR regarding the Iranian attacks, but we are in ready support function where we could be deployed there at any moment to join and augment the combat operations as participants. I am an NCO, non-ranked, non-commissioned officer with in our unit. This morning, our commander opened up the combat readiness status briefing by urging us not to be afraid as to what is happening with our combat operations in Iran right now. He urged us to tell our troops this was all part of God's divine plan, and he specifically referenced numerous citations out of the book of Revelation referring to Armageddon and the imminent return of Jesus Christ. He said that President Trump has been anointed by Jesus to light the signal fire in Iran to cause Armageddon and mark his return to Earth. He had a big grin on his face when he said all of this, which made his message seem even more crazy. Our commander probably would be described as a Christian. So that's the letter, right? Now, from that, people wrote articles. U.S. troops are told war is for Armageddon and return of Jesus. A complaint received by the Military Religious Freedom Foundation. Again, this is the same guy. Okay. This is the same guy. So let's just say I'm skeptical. Okay. I'm just this much. I'm this much. No, not even this much. I'm this much skeptical. And you can't see where the rest of my other arm is, but it's way down below my knees. Okay, I'm that much skeptical. But boy, it's spreading like wildfire. It's kind of like they bombed a school full of schoolgirls in Iran that was right next to the military base. And they had no other evidence other than the regime said they bombed a school full of schoolgirls. Just girls at the school full of schoolgirls, because, they probably have segregated schools there because girls are pretty much worthless in Iran to the mullahs, right? They don't give a fuck about girls at all. In fact, they did. You want to talk about the Handmaid's Tale? Iran is the Handmaid's Tale. But yeah, no other evidence. So anyway, that's trending because people are telling the same story over and over on that one piece of information that I'm sure is 100% totally and completely accurate. Armageddon's trending. Also, Assembly of Experts is trending. Apparently, in the Islamic Republics has an Assembly of Experts, people who get together when your supreme leader is gone and they go pick a new supreme leader. Well, apparently they were going to meet somewhere in Qom, is the town, and apparently that building was attacked also. So they seem to have a mole or some kind of communication issue in Iran that intelligence by either Israel or the United States has been able to crack, and they know where they're going to pick the new leaders. So that building was destroyed while they were on their way, or either there. Oh no, while they were voting, while the 88 council members were voting to choose the new supreme leader, the building was attacked. So they may not want to, it was destroyed. So very interesting. Very interesting. And I'm neither cheerleading nor condemning this. Megyn Kelly is trending. AD, did your ears perk up? She's not happy about this. In fact, she says that Mark Levin wanted this war. Mark Levin, the great one, Mark Levin. Kelly says our government's job is not to look out for Iran or Israel. It's to look out for us, Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious. They're the ones who have been pushing us into this. She's not happy because she's not a fan of Israel. She's kind of jumped over to Tucker Carlson's team as far as this goes. Here's Megyn Kelly. And this is strictly for research purposes for Advocatus Diaboli. I just thought I'd throw this in here because, we got to put in something for you. Here we go.
Look, there are massive divisions over what we've done here.
Yes, there are.
And
I'm divided myself on this. I am. That's why I'm not taking a strong stance one way or the other. I'm just like shaking my head going, what is this all about?
Their minds over the coming days and weeks, one way or the other. But my own feeling is no one should have to die for a foreign country. I don't think those 4 service members died for the United States. I think they died for Iran or for Israel. I think I understand how this helps Iran perfectly well. I get it. I mean, I hope. Long term, we'll see. But they seem rather jubilant. 80% of the country does not support the Ayatollah. He was a terrible, terrible man. No one's crying that he's dead. No normal person. But
I'm glad she qualified that as a no normal person, because there are some people in the United States you're going, I guess you don't like war, but do you know what you're crying about? Because so the Iranian people sure ain't on your side, dummies.
Our government's job is not to look out for Iran or for Israel. It's to look out for us. And this feels very much to me like it is clearly Israel's war. Mark Levin wanted it. It's his war. Ben Shapiro, Lindsey Graham, Miriam Adelson. That's obvious.
Well, only 3 out of 4 were Jews, at least. Anyway. So the thing is, one of the things Trump did several weeks ago, and if he had said, this is the reason we did this, I'd have been more sure about it. But what he said is, if you start committing violence against all those people protesting you in Iran, which they killed between 30 and 100,000 of them, then there would be consequences. If he'd have said, well, I said there'd be consequences, this is it, I'd be more sure about it. But now there's other reasons why I'm going, I'm not sure about it. But I'm also, again, I'm certainly not mourning the Khamenei or any of that crew. And I certainly for the Iranian people who've been trying to, protest against them for years and years and years. I have no love lost for the regime that has been killing people all over the Middle East, including Americans, during their entire 47 years in power. The fact that none of those things have been an act of war have been somewhat shocking to me. Those were all reasons. Now, the weird reason that Rubio came up with about, well, they were about to be attacked, and if they were attacked, then they'd attack us. I have no idea what that meant. So, again, I'm torn. Just like that song, that Natalie Imbruglia song. So anyway, another thing trending, Joy Reid. This is wild because Joy Reid, and I'm just doing these in order that they were on the list. Let me do this first. Thank you, Ty Alexander. Dropping a $2.30 the tip jar, and you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you for sponsoring the show, sir. Pope Tire says, apparently those 4 servicemen who died were killed in Qatar by one of the missiles launched there, not as a direct attack on Iran. It was because no one was thinking that Iran would attack Qatar. I know it's Qatar. So they weren't on high alert. Get fucked, whore. Oh, shit. I wasn't ready for that last line. I was like, okay, do I need my reading glasses? Get fucked, whore. Okay. Is that what happened? I don't even know. Was that it? But look, here's the thing. It's still a result of this action. But I get it. I get what you're saying there. And it's crazy. Look, I think the fact that Iran lashed out at all the countries around it, not just like Israel or not just bases, that's kind of tripped me out. I'm like, apparently you didn't want anyone in the Arab world on your side, or in the Muslim world, I should say, not the Arab world, but the Muslim world on your side. But of course, there's always been that tension between the Arabs and the Persians, right? So I'm just like, dude, well, that's solidified some of our relationships in the Middle East by just attacking the wrong motherfuckers. So there you go. All right, or Sunni versus Shia, sure, but still all about Allah and well, not Mecca, I guess, because the Persians don't do Mecca. Anyway, Joy Reid was also trending, and I was like, why is Joy Reid trending? Basically because of this one line. And Joy Reid's kind of a dumbass anyway. But here's Joy Reid. I think she's on the morning. What's that morning show? Whatever that show is in New York City with Charlemagne the God. Here it is.
Motivates them so they can't have the successor.
She's talking about Charlie Kirk and who else? Well, just listen because this is kind of wild. Oh, and about JD Vance. She has some shit to say about JD Vance. Isn't JD Vance, aren't they about to have their third kid? Like, isn't his wife pregnant again? They like got 2 kids. They're about to have a third. Very much loves his wife. Very, very, they're happy and shit. So listen to, this is Joy Reid. Dumbass.
Motivates them so they can't have the successor to MAGA be the guy with the brown Hindu wife. They're also Christian nationalists. That ain't gonna work. That's why he's throwing his wife under the bus.
What the fuck is a Christian nationalist, really? Like, really, who are these Christian nationalists? Where are the Christian nationalists that are taking over the world? Because I still haven't quite caught that. Anyway, she's like, he's gonna throw his wife to the bus if he wants to be president.
Nationalists. That ain't gonna work. That's why he's throwing his wife under the bus. Poor Usha, or she's in on it, right?
And she's playing slap and tickle with Eric.
Oh, these hags. That explains it. Oh my God, Jennifer Welch. This is the woman who has the nerve. I'm talking about the one on the left here. Her, over there. She's the one who has the nerve to talk about what anybody looks like. Look at her. She looks like fucking Skeletor fucked. What's that motorcycle riding skeleton guy? Whatever it's called. Holy shit. Anyway, sorry.
Kirk's the weirdest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, she's like in her Tammy Faye era.
Okay, holding on the back of his head and rubbing on his head.
Some weird shit.
Baby. Don't do that to Jason. I'm gonna start thinking something's going on. Why you holding the back of his head? I'm like, you not doing that right thing. You supposed to be a widow. You in leather pants?
It is.
That's not widow wear.
Could you imagine?
It's like these hags have the nerve to talk about anybody. Holy shit.
But wouldn't it be the most perfect fairy tale, MAGA fairy tale?
Yeah.
If he finally sees the light that he needs a white queen instead of this brown Hindu? I mean, I'm not saying...
Have you ever heard anybody complain about who J.D. Vance is married to, other than these left-wing shitbags? Have you ever heard anybody complain about who J.D. Vance is married to, other than these left-wing shitbags? Never. Everybody loves Usha, and it's Nick Fuentes. I don't listen to Nick Fuentes. Maybe that's why. Fuck Nick Fuentes. He can stick his head on a pike on a rolling donut, whatever. Fuck that guy.
And that's happening,
right?
Or maybe that Usha's not even in on it. Maybe she's whatever. But that's one entrant. Another entrant is frankly Donald Trump Jr. If he can, keep it together.
Holy shit. Anyway, that's why Joey Reid's trending. A lot of people talking about that shit. Joey Reid said it would be a perfect bag of fairy tale if J.D. Vance chooses a white queen, Erica Kirk, instead of his wife, Usha Vance, who is a brown Hindu. Don't forget she said this. And he's like, all the MAGA accounts are like, fuck that bitch. Fuck Joey Reid. Not literally, though. Ew. Anyway. All right. Okay, I'm just making sure here. I have a whole bunch of articles about the Iran stuff. Oh, by the way, did you see how some of the media has been eulogizing Khamenei? There's a couple articles here. The Federalist, if you don't hate media enough, New York Times and Washington Post, remember Ayatollah as a cleric with an easy smile and a strong gait and strapping shoulders. It's embarrassing. Legacy Media obituaries almost forget to mention Khamenei's murderous repression. Legacy Media obituaries for Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei made the ruthless tyrant sound like a teddy bear. From the Wall Street Journal, whose reporting has trended more progressive in recent years, to the Washington Post, which wears its progressive editorial orientation as a badge of honor, media outlets have clowned themselves in their propaganda portrayals of a man who dedicated his life to murder and repression. Borrowing from the Post's widely ridiculed 2019 description of terrorist Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi as an austere scholar, the journal's characterization of Khamenei as, quote, an austere cleric, end quote, left many readers appalled. But it was the obituaries from the Post and the New York Times that really grated. From its headline, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, hardline cleric who made Iran a regional power, is dead at 86, to the utmost lyrical depiction of his avuncular and magnanimous aloofness. What? The Times' empathy for this brutal dictator was on full display. Sounding more like a eulogy, the Times obituary read, quote, with his spectacles, Palestinian keffiyeh, long robes, and silver beard, Ayatollah Khamenei cast himself as a religious scholar, as well as a writer, translator of works on Islam. He affected an avuncular and magnanimous aloofness, running the country from a perch above the jousting of daily politics. The New York Times basically got roasted for that. And then, meanwhile, Iranians are celebrating in the streets over his death. And then also, there's the, let's see, they didn't post any of the other ones in this article. Anyway, you get the point. They can't help themselves. As if it's no bad news about it. Now, I can imagine when Trump dies, what's the first thing going to be in the headline? What's the first thing going to be in the headline when Donald Trump dies? Twice impeached president, maybe 3 times impeached president. I mean, there's going to be some negative shit right in the fucking headline. They're not going to call him an austere and strong leader with very strong, whatever. They're not going to do any of that shit. They're not going to do it. They're not going to lionize him like they do this fucking 34-time convicted felon. Oh, and then just in the ironic category, the Washington Post printed that socialist and trans liberation organizer who founded Armed Queers Group as concerned students protesting Trump strikes on the Iranian regime. The Washington Post readers, or 2 Washington Post readers, Irmia Fanayan is a Howard University student who took to the streets to protest President Donald Trump's military campaign against the Iranian regime out of fear for her relatives in Iran. The Post did not mention that Fanian is a self-described socialist and trans liberation organizer who founded a group of armed queers in Utah and has protested the United States and Israel long before Trump launched Operation Epic Fury. In the Post February 28th piece, headline, Outside White House, Hundreds Protest Attack on Iran, Urged End Conflict, highlighted a protest that broke out near the White House hours after the strikes began. Its lead focused on Fanayan, who has, quote, lived in the United States since she was 1, but still has family in her home country of Iran. And, as word spreads of attack there by Israel and the U.S., Post reporters Jasmine Golden and Liam Scott wrote, Fanian, quote, grew concerned about her relatives and other Iranians and thus decided to protest the military action. But didn't describe the fact that she's like one of these organized protesting people that show up at every fucking protest. You can read the rest of the article. It's hilarious how they sugarcoat that bullshit. Now let's talk about Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton got in the hot seat in front of the, I don't know what the fucking committee it was. Was it the House Oversight Committee? They're either in closed door depositions, and lots of people are posting clips. So let's just see what they posted. Just to see what Bill said about those younger girls. I don't know about any of them girls. Anyway, let's see. Oh no, wait a minute. This didn't start well. Listen to this. The first clip of these clips that I found on this thread are this one. Listen carefully and see if anything significant happens in this clip I'm about to play. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
First question I have for you, Mr. President. Have you ever lied in a deposition?
No.
Have you ever lied while under oath?
No.
Oh, fuck. That's not a good start. That's not a good start at all. That's not a good start. So anyway, let's hear. I'm just going to go down and find different clips. This is like 4 minutes of him being asked questions. This would be interesting.
That about you.
Are you asking his opinion?
Hang on. There we go. Because I've watched this one already, I think.
The witnesses who testified in the Epstein cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion?
Now, his lawyers are very quick to get him not to answer shit that he just doesn't need to be answering to make him look any worse. But anyway.
You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say something about him?
Why would Epstein say that about
she's asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
First of all.
Oh, damn, AD. I can't even say that out loud. I can't. Read what AD wrote. Oh, high unacceptable views, by the way. My other favorite Canadian.
Likes them young, referring to girls.
He's thinking hard.
First of all.
He's thinking hard.
That's not true.
What's not true? Oh.
That I have any interest in underage.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
But
is an interest.
And I think this might be Nancy Mace asking the questions. And I find some humor in it because her next question was the very first thing I thought of when he said no to that. He said no to that question. What was the question? Do you, Epstein said that, that you like him young. And do you have any interest in younger girls? And he's like, he didn't say anything about underage girls, which wasn't the question. He just said young, not underage. So that's interesting that he immediately went to underage when she just said young. But anyway, next question is what I would have asked next.
Turn young?
Oh, hang on.
Young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Ding!
Yes.
Okay.
At my age, anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were ever on his island?
He didn't have to since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
How many other people's planes have you used, like Epstein 26 times or miles, etc.?
I don't know. I did with Steve Bing, who's now deceased, and probably with 4 or 5 others.
Okay. So maybe about a half dozen billionaires total. So how many dinners did you have with Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein in attendance?
She's asking to the best of your recollection.
I have no idea.
Okay. Did you ever discuss sexual misconduct allegations made against you with Epstein or Maxwell?
Never.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer to help manage or silence women who made sexual misconduct allegations against you?
No.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer financial support directly or indirectly to legal defense funds related to impeachment proceedings or civil actions against you?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you think a young girl massaging a president is unusual?
So are you asking his opinion?
Well, he was massaged by a young woman. I'm asking if he thinks it's unusual that a president, sitting president of the United States, leader of the free world, that
I'm sorry. She made a mistake there. Are you talking to the instance of the
yes? Is it unusual that
the
a
back
young woman would be
massage that occurred while he was not president? I'm just trying to understand. You said a president of the United States.
Former president.
Thank you. Just trying to make sure we're correcting the time frame.
Are you filibustering?
No, I don't need to. I'm actually trying to make sure that as you.
Pretty clear. He said he
you
was
said he was a sitting president.
Excuse me, could we just please go one at a time? Thank you.
You said a sitting president. I want you to be clear so that when he answers
Former
you,
sitting
the
president.
record is clear.
Do it? Is it unusual?
Absolutely, avocado style. When he says "not to my knowledge," which is not a no. Not a no.
No idea if it's unusual.
Objection calls for speculation.
I figured. Did you ever think that all these women around Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell was odd, unusual, weird, or creepy?
There weren't all that many around when I was there.
There weren't all that many around. Which means there were some around.
Many would you say is not all that many?
I think on this big plane that was working long hours, having 2 to 4 people on there, I thought was, as far as I knew, they were all helping.
Flight attendants in tank tops and jeans?
They're helping, all right.
Right.
No.
Do you believe you were a victim of a Jeffrey Epstein intel operation? Do you think that you might have been caught up in some of what he was maybe potentially doing?
Excuse me, Congressman, which question are you asking?
I'm asking
Intel
if
operation?
First of all, I don't.
Some type of intel operation. I'm just curious because it's been speculated on today and yesterday
understand.
That he may have been an intel asset. Do you think, perhaps knowing what we know now, the proclivity of it all, that he may have been targeting you as part of an intel operation?
I doubt it.
Okay. In 2019, you stated after he was arrested, I guess this would be the second time, you stated you knew nothing of Epstein's, quote, terrible crimes since you only met, quote, briefly on only, quote, 2 occasions. Was this statement false?
Excuse me, Congressman.
That's not an accurate statement. Can you please share us what you said?
Yes. In 2019, as reported by the media.
I'm curious which media reported that, but I know he's made statements similar to that before. He's looking pretty haggard during this. I'll tell you that. Bill Clinton is looking at these Epstein photos like a teenager looking at his first play. Okay, hang on a second. Let's see this. What is this one? She's taking it away from him. She's laughing at it too. Oh my God! You know, someone needs to make a different soundtrack to that. Oh, she looked kind of good. Just take that away from him. Oh, I like her.
Okay.
So the lawyer's like,
Mr. President, we have
he's laughing
5
about
minutes
it.
remaining in the majority's first hour, so I just want to ask you some questions related to the crimes committed by Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell.
Okay, so that's another one. Holy moly. Bill Clinton smiling and looking back through old Epstein photos and nodding over memories. His attorney snatches them out of Bill's hand. Yeah, that is pretty funny. Let's see. And then this one, Bill Clinton. Trump never said anything to me. Okay, let me see what this is too. We'll play one more.
I hate this, but because I don't believe I should inject anything. But I do not want to leave the impression, but since there was no follow-up question, the president never, this is 20-something years ago, never said anything to me to make me think he was involved in anything improper with regard to Epstein either. He just didn't. That's the truth. As I said earlier, the only conversation I had with President Trump about this was in the early 2000s. And I have no information.
When they were both still Democrats.
That he did anything wrong. I just want it all out there. I want everybody to get it all out there and let everybody see where we are.
So he's defending Trump too. I'm still wanting them to use the evidence they've gotten from the places they've gotten, the ranch in New Mexico, the island, the apartment, and I want them to use it to make arrests on people that they can confirm were doing things wrong. And it's a lot of fucking powerful ass people with too much money that all need to be perp walked. Now, granted, they got two of the people in Great Britain. The president of the World Economic Forum has stepped down. Other CEOs have stepped down. Bill Gates had to make an apology. Still waiting for the perp walks though. Still waiting for the perp walks. I'm just saying. There's not enough happening. By the way, Hillary Clinton had her deposition. She for 4.5 hours, and watch the depositions of Bill Clinton and Secretary Clinton in front of the House Oversight Committees. So if you want the links to that, I have an article open, a Breitbart article open about Hillary's deposition, and there's a link. In fact, let me just do this. I'll put the Oversight Committee. The Oversight Committee link here. I may want to go through both of these, but they just get so these committee meetings get so freaking boring. But both depositions are here. There's that someone did AI of Bill in the dress again, but yeah, there's a whole lot more. Also, the show's over, and I have hours of material for you to look at. So if you want to do some easy reading, hit the aggregator or hit the links today, because I have tons of articles open that you should see. Again, thank you everybody for being here. I got to go. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. I will probably get back to talking about Iran tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all being here. Let me drop these links and we'll get out of here. Just one moment. As soon as this thing starts to work again. God, I hate this new way to do this. It just drives me insane. I used to click one link, one tab, and it automatically, put put out the links for the day, and now I got to hit like 4 different things. So there we go. Here's the links for today. And that's it. I got to go. You all have a great day. My name's PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here. See you tomorrow. Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through the Streamlabs link, which is also in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.